This is the overall setup. So we have a laptop and then a small antenna on a table below it, and sitting on the bench are some electronic pieces of equipment. And we'll go look at those a little more detail. So the reader is a Baylog reader. This is the blue thing out in front. It's connected to a power amp, and then it's connected to the antenna via a coax cable. So if you look at the reader, it's a Baylog 1108 2-channel connected to a 2-watt Class D amplifier, and our jammer is some engineering prototype equipment, and it's got the capability of outputting a variety of jamming signals. So you see the cable going up to the jammer. Now here are the chips. They're made with Tagstar inlays and Infineon SRF 66V10ST chips. This is the screen that we get. It's the eGate screen. There's a couple of windows. One controls the interrogator off on the right. You can set up some of the interrogator parameters. And the other one is displays a grid of tag sightings, and you can set up the numbers of rows and columns, and when it cites tags, you'll see what happens. Here's a stack up of dummy chips and the little antenna. So you see 3 chips on the top and 1 chip on the bottom. And if you go up, and while this is occurring, they're being read, and you can see the numbers in the blue boxes incrementing. These are the number of tag sightings for the 4 chips that are read. Now if we look again at this thing in different view, here we see the antenna, and this is a special antenna. It's dual tuned. It had to be widened out to accommodate the 3 megahertz subcarrier that we're getting from the chip. If we take this apart, you'll see the compensating loop. Underneath is another chip. This is the one we're going to jam. Here's the jamming antenna, small little jamming antenna. Here's another view of a different antenna, and this is the side-by-side jamming experiment. And here the jammer is placed underneath slowly, and as we place it underneath, we can look at the screen, and we will see on the screen incrementing of the chip that we're jamming stops. So if we do this a couple of times and then go look at the screen while we're doing this, of course I was looking at this simultaneously. Here are the 4 tags, 4 chips rather, and the one in the second row is the one that's going to be jammed. So you see its number is incrementing up. All 4 chips are incrementing at this time. We'll clear off the screen and start again, and we can see the bottom one now is also incrementing. At some point the jamming signal occurs, gets applied, and incrementation will stop. Now jammer is removed, and it again starts to increment. Do that again. This is the chip with the last C18 as its reference, and it will stop as it's jamming. And at the same time, it's important to note that the other 3 are still incrementing on the top row. And that completes the demonstration. Now this is shown on a small scale by necessity, since I did not have a more powerful reader that would allow the use of larger antennas. If you would like further information, you may contact me directly or Optys Corp at the information on the screen. I would also like to mention at this time that this is a fully patented technique.